What's up, everybody? The Lummy Sports Show with Rhett. What's up, Rhett?
What's up, Lummy?
And Scout.
And Scout.
I know you've been busy back there working all day. Haven't talked to you really today. Doing good back in the engineering world?
Yes, sir. Just, sweating the day away.
Keeping your head down.
Yeah.
Just doing some videos.
Yeah, no shit.
That's what it's all about. Well, welcome, everybody. 813-90-BUBBA. 813-90-BUBBA. This is more of a chill vibe. Usually we get that hard rock hitting.
Yeah.
And according to our thing, Music Bumper 74, acting crazy.
It's the name of the song. It's an Action Bronson instrumental.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, but it's a remake that someone did in FL Studio that doesn't seem to get copyright flagged by YouTube. So we're going to use it until we can.
Are you excited about today? Creamsicle Day?
Jesus
Are you
Christ.
going to Creamsicle Day at Armature Works? I think it's 6 to 9. Fireworks, roller skating, vintage memorabilia.
Are you going to go?
Thought about it, but probably not.
They normally have the creamsicle truck where they hand out creamsicle pops.
For free?
For free. Free 99.
I thought it was a little weird. Ashley sent it to me yesterday, and it said you had to reserve your spot, but it's free. And I guess it's just trying to maybe see how many creamsicle pops you have to have.
Probably gives them a general idea, but I don't know. That's annoying. I think that's annoying. I remember when you used to just be able to show up to training camp.
Yeah, but
now but then you had to reserve a spot, and then you had to get a fucking ticket. Now you can't go without a ticket, and to get a ticket, you have to be a season pass holder.
Exactly. And then there's only certain days that you're only allowed a certain amount of time that you're there.
Yeah, they're making it rough for the poors.
But I mean, at least they're giving back to the poors here with the Armature Works. You know, that you could show up and I guess roller skate. Are you a big roller skater?
It used to be when I was a kid.
Have you? So I'm guessing you haven't even seen really the little brochure they had out.
No, I don't think I have.
Because for some reason, let's see, we had 813 Day yesterday. Now, obviously, this is local, but the Buccaneers obviously are once again coming out with their creamsicle uniform, which a lot of people actually really like nowadays. And I guess today is Creamsicle Day in Tampa, which I don't know, how it became really popular. But right here, Rhett, see, let me get it. Is it this screen that's on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry, once again, jeez. Just an amateur. Accept cookies. See right here, Creamsicle Day. There's the old sombrero. Hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucks are hot and ready to play. What to expect? So, because I kind of figured this was up your alley.
I mean, yeah, it seems like a fun thing to do.
All right, it didn't have the exact same one I had, but it showed like the little roller skates they were going to roll out there. Let's see, the practice will open to the general public. Oh, so here we go. So, Rhett, did you know this? The final training camp is set for, this morning, never mind, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say the first 2,500 fans will receive a free creamsicle-themed flag, and you could have watched the practice for free. So they're giving back. Rhett?
The practice will be open to the general public. Ticket required. So where do you get the ticket beforehand?
Maybe sign up on their website? Good question. You didn't, I don't think you really heard much about it, did you?
No.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. This is what I got from our ticket rep.
The ultimate 70s party at Armature Works, 6 to 9 p.m. Skate back to the 70s. Free roller skating from 6 to 9 p.m. presented by Ticketmaster. I wonder where they are going to be set up in roller skating at Armature Works. I know they've got a decent amount of space out there, but there's going to be a decent amount of people.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to probably turn that one area like overlooking the river.
Where all the tables are?
Yeah, I feel like they're going to turn that into a whole thing.
That's where they had the creamsicle truck parked last year. Yeah, they had people standing there handing out ice cream.
Free mini pennant for all who attend while supplies last. By the way, that's probably the real size of it right there.
Spirit of 79. Do you know what that's all about?
Yeah, when they made the conference championship in '79.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Come on, creamsicle. This is. I mean, I can't wait till they do the Spirit of the '80s when they go like 2-14 the whole time. But I'm a little disappointed because this date right here is when I'm for the second straight year. I'll be missing my the Bucks game because I'll be going to the golf tournament thing.
Oh, so gotta go play golf.
Yeah, I'm gonna be missing my creamsicle game. So Ashley's gonna have an extra ticket because I'm sure she's gonna want to go. Well, I mean, these things are always fun. They always try to, get back. But so I'm guessing you're not probably gonna go to that.
What, that game?
No, the creamsicle day.
Oh, tonight? I'll think about it. Maybe.
Maybe bring Scout down there.
No.
Oh.
Maybe do some roller skating.
Really?
No. No.
I was gonna say I'd love to see that on video.
I don't have any roller skates.
But it's been an exciting preseason. I'm sure that you're killing it over there on your podcast, just talking about how good the Bucks looked, how good the center looked. I'm not talking about the defense. I'm talking about the offensive line. And once again, it's always preseason. But were you happy with the way preseason week 1 started out for at least our local Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yeah, I'm happy. It was a somewhat entertaining game to watch. The final 5 minutes were pretty good, watching both of the offenses march down the field. I'm excited about the potential of a run game getting better. Tighter formations, better formations for running the football. Hopefully more sound decision-making and play calling running the football. But I think Bucky Irving, and then, of course, you mentioned the rookie center Graham Barton out there. The offensive line, especially this interior, Cody Malk started that preseason game as well. I was surprised to see him out there at right guard.
He needed some work, though.
But the importance of, these offensive linemen, these young offensive linemen, getting to the second and third level in the run game, haven't seen an offensive lineman do that since I think maybe Ryan Jensen was on the field. It's been a long time since we've had a competent run game in Tampa Bay. And hopefully if Bucky Irving continues to be hard to tackle and Rachaad White can, be the do-it-all back that he wants to be, I'm excited to see what the offense can develop into if you have a sound run game, because Baker's going to have to play consistent. He's going to have to continue to play well if this offense is going to go anywhere in the postseason. But, I'm excited about the potential of a run game. That's, I think, the biggest talk for a lot of people coming out of that first preseason game.
Yeah, and that is exciting but I'm scared that once again it's preseason and we're going to fall into that lackluster Tony Dungy type offense. And I always go back to that because growing up, that's all it was.
I don't think it'll be lackluster. I think when you have a quarterback who can make plays and you have weapons on your offense like Mike Evans, like Chris Godwin, who apparently is in better shape than he has been in a very long time. The young tight ends still have a little bit to prove, but I think Cade Otton had a pretty good year last year. Payne Durham made a couple of plays. Sterling Shepard, it's going to be interesting to see what he's got left in the tank, but Jalen McMillan shaping up to be a pretty decent wide receiver 3. Trey Palmer also in that conversation. Whoever wins that job, you're still going to see plenty of the other guys. So I'm excited about the possibility of them, again, building something off of the run game, because I think Baker can throw the ball well, and at times he can protect the ball. But if you have to have him throw the ball 50 times a game, I don't think you're going to win.
Sorry, I was
turning yourself off.
I had a little tickle in my throat. No, I 100% agree. We didn't have the weapons back then at the wide receiver, so I'm very happy about where the Bucs are looking right now for this regular season. Can't wait to go to week 3, I think it is for us, against the Dolphins in Bucs game.
Yeah.
Watch Tua Tagovailoa. You think he'll play? You think he'll play week 3? You think any of our starters will play week 3?
Yeah.
You think any starters in the NFL will play week 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I think week 3 might be the game you get the most. Maybe you'll see a quarter. That's kind of how Todd Bowles has done it these last couple of years. Is week 3 you usually get that first quarter or most of it being the starter. So I think we'll see some guys in week 3.
Let's take our first call. 239.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hinstar, how you doing?
Hello, Hinstar.
I think the creamsicle jerseys are the best one. I know I'm partial because I have one, but I think those are the best jerseys.
It's a new season ticket. Well, he was a season ticket holder, Rhett, but he did come down from Carolina and transition to a Bucks, and he is trying to throw a huge tailgate for the Bucks first game, and you can come out, Rhett. He's buying all the beer.
Hey, Rhett, with the cancellation of the Wiener National, do you kind of think Scout's being iced?
No, I mean, we're going to give it a go next weekend, so I don't want to say that officially, no. But
okay. I feel like maybe something going on in the competition, that number one dog, I forgot the name, but I just feel like your dog's been kind of iced. They're icing the wiener.
You got to do what you got to do what you can do. I think the weather is one of those factors that you can't always take into account. The weather has shut down a lot of great races and a lot of great games in the history of sports. So this may just be another one, but I got my fingers crossed that next weekend we're going to be good to go.
All right, awesome. Hey, I know this is off topic, and I apologize. Did you guys see the Lightning? We're looking at being sold off for about $2 billion, and the new group that's buying it?
Well, we talked about it before that I think with, what's his name? Vinnick's divorce. He was going to have to sell, which we did talk about. He would have to sell some of it. Has it changed? Because he was still going to be still running things day to day.
Well, I don't know if it's like a new development, but I did see the story you're talking about where I guess they're moving forward in the process of selling the Lightning for right around $2 billion.
Which I'm guessing that's I would have to say majority then.
But Vinnick said he would still stay in the mix some way, somehow. So I don't know what duty he would take on after selling his majority ownership of the team, but that's what it looks like for sure.
And then my follow-up on that is, and then I'll get off and listen to your answer, is do you feel like the hometown franchises, I know you got Green Bay, with exception to them, but like even the Dallas Cowboys, the Lakers, all these other franchises that are owned where that sport is their only business, I kind of feel how the money is so big now that these single-family owned franchises, I think they're just going to be selling out to these big hedge fund companies and these capital funds. And
well, I don't blame them.
I think you're going to see a lot of that.
I don't blame them because it looks like, if you look at this, it says, which we reported on. Okay, hang up on your cell fucking hand, sorry. It looks like he confirmed that he wanted to expand our ownership group, which we knew, and he needed to sell some of it because of his divorce. He said, Vinnick's statement, there will be no change in the day-to-day operations of the Lightning and Vinnick Sports Group. Perfect, what I like to hear. I'm excited about what is to come for the organization, and we look forward to sharing more when the time is right. Vinnick bought the Lightning in 2010 for a reported $170 million. Well, if someone's going to come in and buy a part of the Lightning for $2 billion, I probably would look at that, especially if you can still run day-to-day operations at the Lightning and have nothing change. Would you take that, Rhett?
I guess.
Well, think about it. So if you're running a business, right, and the group comes in and you bought it for $170 million and you're just killing it, doing a great job, obviously at this point you're loaded with $170 million. But if a capital group, CEO of Blue Owl Capital, looks like that's who's going to be doing the deal, says, hey, maybe for 70% of the Lightning, we'll give you $2 billion for it, but you can still run the day-to-day operations and we won't touch anything that you do. I take that deal, because what are they going to do? If you're running the Lightning and everything's going good, they're not going to fire you. Doesn't seem like the Blue Owl Capital probably wants to run a hockey franchise. I think they just see it's a good investment. So why not take it? I mean, what happens? He wants to retire and he has $2 billion now in his bank account? I don't see a problem with that. I kind of wish they would do that with the Lightning.
Yeah, it says if completed, the Lightning sale would eclipse Michael Andelor's $950 million purchase of the Ottawa Senators in September as the largest in NHL history. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It's a big investment, but I would like to think that hockey is growing in this market, especially, and the Lightning are going to continue to be a good moneymaker. Hopefully you have one of these next franchise guys pan out. Like, you've obviously got Kucherov for the rest of his career, and Vasilevsky and Victor Hedman, but he's getting a little bit older. Like, it really does suck coming off of the heels of the Stammer move, but I do think the Lightning will continue to be a moneymaker. So it's a big investment, but doesn't seem like much is changing.
Yeah, it seems like it's still going to run it. And what's a lose-lose for Vinnick? I mean, let's be honest. He's now single, I guess. He's going to have $2 billion in the bank account or whatever after taxes. So the Lightning suck in 5 years, right? And they go, Vinnick, go sit back. We're going to bring a real president in or someone else to run the. Okay, I did my best. I made $930 million or whatever it was, $830 million. Hey, I'll go sit on my house in Davis Island or wherever he's living at. I mean, he's already built Water Street and all this other shit. So maybe that's just hey, listen. I've had rumors from people that know people in the county commissioners that maybe work for the county that have said Vinnick wanted to bring in the raise, right? Maybe he's looking at buying something else. I mean, putting $2 billion into that company. Maybe he's looking investing with the Bucks, investing with the Rays. I mean, $2 billion buys you a lot of money. Oh man, I did not just say that, but you know what I mean? Like he can invest in some other stuff. They're building that one soccer team now over Blake. I think it starts this month.
Yeah, it's women's soccer FC Sun, I believe is what it is, the Tampa Bay FC Sun. And they renovated the Blake football stadium over there near Armature Works, across the river, basically, from where Armature Works is. They ramped it up, made it a nice riverfront stadium to where they're going to be able to host these kind of events. And, yeah, there's a lot of funding going into a lot of different things around Tampa Bay. And I think Vinnick being somewhat local or being involved pretty heavily with some local development stuff here in Tampa, it'll be interesting to see if he dips his hand back into sports.
Why not? But maybe Sternberg, obviously with his new stadium deal, wants to sell the team, but they stay in St. Pete, or maybe he steps in now. Or what if he buys the Rowdies from Sternberg and brings the Rowdies back to Tampa? You know what I mean? Like just keep getting major league sports back into the Tampa market.
Maybe. And
builds around his whole thing. Maybe he buys Blake High School and tears it down. Gives a big Hillsborough. I know that would probably make you sad, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's where I graduated from.
I know. Would that make you sad if they tore it down and built a stadium right there?
A little bit.
Look at it. 239.
A little bit.
239.
Hey, I'm Rhett. What up? Mike from Naples.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Good. Just two things. One sports related real quick. Would you guys agree that the NFC East is probably the weakest division right now?
The NFC East? Is that what you said? The NFC East? Why do you say that? Because the Giants, the Commanders, I mean, they do have the Eagles.
They got the Eagles.
And the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
So what makes you think that? What makes you think that they're the weakest division? And then Rhett and I will.
Well, first off, I'm a Giants fan, and I'm praying that some of their draft picks pan out because they're in desperate need of just one good wide receiver, or something. We haven't seen anything since Plaxico Burress or Jeremy Shockey. You know what I mean? And
Odell
the Commanders.
Odell Beckham wasn't anything.
Well, Odell Beckham for a minute, but otherwise, they haven't done anything. And the Commanders, they're kind of spotty, and the Eagles. And
They've
the
only
Cowboys.
made the Super Bowl a couple times, and the Cowboys were always making the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, garbage friend.
I got to say, Mike, when I look at all of these teams on a slate in front of me, I still think it's going to be the NFC South because most people on the networks, not that their opinion is the be-all, end-all, but most people don't look at the NFC South and have many aspirations for any of those teams.
That is
I think, they're picking the Atlanta Falcons to win the division, but the Atlanta Falcons, a lot of people would say, have a ceiling of 10 or 11 wins with Kirk Cousins. I know he had that one really good year with Minnesota, but Atlanta's still a somewhat young team. I think Kirk Cousins coming off of an injury that ended his season is going to make people even more hesitant. The disrespect that the Bucs get really doesn't even need to be talked about, just because Baker Mayfield, since he's got into the league, and a lot of the guys on the Bucs roster have always been slept on. So, like, I think it's going to be the NFC South for, like, the 5th year in a row.
I would have to agree with you on that. And the NFC South, you got the Panthers, which might be one of the worst teams in the league.
A lot of people are looking at the Saints and saying they'll only win 5 to 7 games this year. Mm-hmm. I think that's true. I think those players have given up on Dennis Allen. The Bucs, in my opinion, best case scenario, win 11 games, and that's probably me being generous by a game or two.
I got them going 9, so.
Atlanta, again, their ceiling feels like 10 or 11 wins with Kirk Cousins being as busted up as he is. So I don't think the expectations are strong there at all.
I mean, listen, the NFC, you didn't really make a good point, because the Giants are probably going to be right around 500. The Eagles are going to be obviously way better than 500. The Cowboys are going to be better than 500. So you have the Commanders that are probably going to be typically 7-10, 8-9.
All right, well, maybe I worded it wrong, like legit contenders, because when it comes to Philly and Dallas, they always fold.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl, 4 years ago?
Yeah, and how many since then?
Have they been to the Super Bowl? You do know it's the NFL, and it is very difficult, just as Dan Marino, to make it back to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I do understand.
And
I'm a Giants fan. Hey, we beat Tom Brady as a wild card team. Trust me, I understand.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, it's not the weakest division. I mean, right now,
okay. Well,
AFC West too.
Look
at the AFC West. You got the shitty Denver Broncos. I mean, obviously the Chiefs are going to run away with that. The Raiders, who fucking knows what the hell happens to that franchise? And the Chargers are all about Herbert, and they got rid of some of their younger players, or even their older wide receivers. But I mean, what kind of weapons does Herbert have? I mean, you can even argue that the AFC West is. People always say like, oh, they have the Chiefs. The Chargers should be better, but the Raiders always fucking shit the bed, and the Broncos are still going to shit the bed no matter what they do right now, because Sean Payton doesn't know what the fuck he's got. So AFC West is almost competing with the NFC South. And Rhett, I agreed with you on the NFC South being the weakest one, but it's not any sexier, minus Kansas City Chiefs, that's better than the NFC South. Like right now, Broncos. Is there a team where the Broncos besides now you got the Panthers, but you got anyone in the South that you don't think that could compete and beat the Broncos?
You're talking about the NFC South, like the Saints and the Falcons and the Panthers.
The Bucs. I mean, besides the Panthers, pretty much. I mean, are the Broncos looking that tough?
No.
Well, the Chiefs obviously are looking tough. I mean, that's still 50-50 on some of the teams like the Falcons and the Bucs. The Raiders, are you sold on the Raiders?
I think the Raiders will win some games.
That's what I'm saying. They'll be around 500.
Yeah.
Chargers, around 500. Broncos, a little under.
I'd like to hope. I know it's a first-year coach with Harbaugh, but I don't know why Harbaugh feels a little bit different just because he's won in the NFL before. So
true.
I want to say that they're a little. Yeah, I want to say that they're a little bit better than 500. But if they're right around 500, I understand why. But I would like for Herbert to have a good bounce back year. I think Harbaugh's a good coach for that.
I think so too. But like I said, the AFC West isn't sexy. At least right now, the NFC East. And once again, I make a point because Mike, I'm sorry, but the Eagles and Cowboys right now. If you look at the media and what's going on with their market. They're going to at least have two teams in the playoffs. And the Giants are probably right on that, well, depending on Danny Dimes, but two teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, half of that is because they're playing each other half the time. So they get wins because they're playing the Commanders and the Giants.
In your division game, it's a 50-50. Usually you win at home and lose at home. That's why the NFC South always ends up with a 500 team.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles start this year, to kind of Mike's point. If the Eagles come out and they're 3-3, this could be a different conversation as well, depending on how Dallas is playing. I don't think people expect the Giants or Washington to play super well. But Philadelphia was in shambles at the end of last year. Like, they limped into the playoffs. They lost to the Bucks. But before that, they had lost, 5 out of their last 6 games, I think, headed into the postseason. Sirianni, there's articles every day about how he's on the hot seat for Philly. So I think if they are a shadow of the team that was running over people early in the NFL season, then it could be cause for concern. But I do think the performance of the Eagles is going to tell you the most about that division.
Well, here you go. First 6 games. Let's break down the Eagles just for our little boy here. We do have a lot of Eagle fans, but first game is against the Packers. I guess you could say that's a 50-50 game, right? Then at home, they're at home against Packers, at home against the Falcons. I feel like Kirk Cousins is what the hell's going on here? I just want 100.
Dear Frontier customer.
What the hell just happened?
Wow. Exit that out.
I'm trying. Oh, that's my page. Oh, come on.
Wow. ESPN did you dirty.
Yeah, no shit.
ESPN.
Fine. All right, well, I memorized it. I was looking at it. So it's Atlanta, and then they go Saints, and then Bucks. So, I mean, what do you think the Eagles are going to do there?
3 weeks in a row of the NFC South. Hopefully the Bucks can put a stop to their reign of terror.
At least at that home, too.
Because I think they'll be 2-0. I know it's the Saints, and the Saints are one of those teams that early in the year, you know what? That could be a loss for Philly. I think that could be potentially their first loss of the year, if we're being honest.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think
right now.
I think the Saints in Week 3 could put a stop to them, just because the Saints early in the year, especially, are a team that steals wins. They know how to do that.
Listen, Mike, we'll mark this call down, buddy. You go back to voting polls. We're going to mark this call down, and I'm going to agree with you now. The AFC East sucks, and the only good team in there is the Cowboys.
I hope you prove me wrong. I just wanted to say one more thing. I have love for all Bubba Army, and I'm not trying to spit hate, but I got to defend Colton because the other day Mario kind of got on him about money, but didn't Mario get on you about money? Isn't that a little hypocritical?
No. Mike?
No? Are you just trying not to start heat?
No, I know heat. Mario gave money, and I didn't call.
Mario's been great. But hold on, calling out Colton when he cried about
Mike
being called out one day.
Mike,
come on,
Mike, you're not listening. Las Vegas Mario gave money. He put $20, $25 in the old tip jar. Guess what? I didn't call it out for him in the timely manner. Colton was asking Bubba for money. So, totally different thing. Mike, you just stick to rooting for the NFC East, okay? Mike's a great guy. Love Mike. He's a super. I mean, I'm sorry. I do disagree with the NFC East. The NFC East, I would say a couple years ago, was really weak, but I think it is hulked up a little bit more. But it is the NFL, and realistically, you never know who can come out of nowhere. I mean, the Vikings are feeling good. And who's their quarterback now, right?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, exactly. You know what?
Well, it was presumed to be Sam Darnold before the injury to J.J. McCarthy, but, I mean, this guy's a first-round pick. You hate to see him go down like this.
Exactly. But they were hoping that Sam Darnold may, like Byron Leftwich and Josh Freeman, you know, the guy that I always love talking about, Byron Leftwich was in there, and you know he started I think 4 to 6 games, and then they brought Freeman in, and they probably thought, you know, we'll let Sam Darnold probably go 1-3 in the first 4 games, and then bring in J.J. McCarthy. But now they're stuck with Sam Darnold. So my thinking of the Vikings as your season has gone from, okay, we know we're going to limp in there, now we're fucked. We're going to be there the whole year with Sam Darnold. Like, has Sam Darnold really shown anything in the last couple of years?
Well, they haven't 100% determined if it's going to be the entire season yet. They're going to decide here soon. I don't know officially when, whether he needs a trim of his meniscus or a full repair. The full repair would sideline him for the entire year, but if he just has to get it trimmed, he could be back week 5, week 6, week 7.
True, but do you take that chance if you start out 0-5 with your, first round pick?
I mean, it ultimately depends. I don't know. If you're 0-5, probably not. You probably sideline him for the rest of the year. You let Sam Darnold and whatever other QB you have run this thing into the ground, and you bank on a high draft pick, and you debut your guy when he's close to 100% his second year in the league. I know it's not fun.
Weapons,
yeah. I know it's not fun, but you got to do what you got to do, especially for the good of the investment that you put in this guy. A first-round pick. He's a quarterback. You don't want, not that he was a first-round pick, but you don't want a Kyle Trask on your hands.
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. Their depth chart, if you can't succeed as Sam Darnold, and maybe we're all wrong, maybe they go 5-0, but you got Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler backup, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. What's wrong with Hawkinson?
I don't know. I think he got bumped up. He's on the physically unable to perform list.
3 to 7 weeks, Hawkinson's out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You have some good wide receivers. But, I mean, that's still... If Sam Darnold is anything, he should be able to rise above this.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, Jaron Hall, and Nick Mullins are the other 3 quarterbacks they have, aside from J.J. McCarthy. So, again, kind of sucks to see J.J. go down like that.
Exactly.
But you hope for the best, and you hope that they are in a position to be competitive, and competitive enough that they can win some games with J.J. McCarthy, but when he comes back, they can also look at Sam Darnold and say, this guy has won us some games, but he hasn't played well enough. We're going to go to the rookie. I think that would be obviously the most entertaining option.
Yeah. Well, not going to happen, unfortunately, and I know that probably hurts your value on that rookie card you have.
I don't give a shit. It's okay.
Really? You don't care?
I'll hold on to it. I mean, no, it doesn't really bust me up or anything like that. You know, I don't collect to sell stuff. I just collect because it's cool.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I'm going to switch the gears, go over to the college football, which I was excited when you mentioned that today because I'm a big college football guy.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it much, but...
Because I usually kind of keep it off the thing because it's always, different things, and I didn't think you were really following it. And obviously it's, either from spring practice when we were still doing the sports show or now coming into... 2-a-days. If they still do that, who knows nowadays. But obviously our cover story is our man, Deion. And he's getting a lot of hate. And I've seen there's been a lot of hate. Obviously there was a lot of press when he came out, 4-0? 5-0, 4-0, right? And everyone's like, oh, God, Deion's, he's the man. And I think Deion's still a good coach. Obviously, he's got a lot of good players. I was never the believer in the transfer portal thing. That's just my opinion because I feel like my thinking is it's the way you're going to be able to build the team. And obviously, I'm not Deion Sanders. I'm not a football coach. I'm not really anything, obviously, in college football. But like your linemen and everyone, they kind of need to coexist. And that's why I think Deion's going to have a better second year because even though he did get some transfers again and there's more of a nucleus around there. And I think the first year he was going to struggle a little bit. I know when Bubba's like, he got, 19 5-star recruits or he's got these guys coming from Oklahoma. Well, they never really played together.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know how they play. You want your center to be there, your guard, all of them to kind of know, the different movements and how they know how to read guys and when you're just coming in, you're like, yeah, I'm a 5-star recruit. And you just go down the line. You're like, oh, it's like basketball. And that's how I kind of compare it. It's a little different, obviously, game. Not different game, but, you see Kentucky, they get like 5 stars. And then they lose, like, after a freshman year, like their whole starting lineup. And they bring these guys in. And then they get eliminated by Norfolk State, in the second game of the year. And those guys have been playing together. They know their movements. They know when this guy's going to drive and he's going to pass it off. It's kind of like similar with an offensive line. As a center who's reading it, he knows, okay, listen, I played with this guy last year. His weakness is when, if they prove a rusher in here, they do a blitz, I'm going to have to help him check down. I'm going to have to because he's a little weak on his right. Maybe he's good on his left. He knows those reads. All the offensive linemen is a cohesive group that they know how they're doing it. So when you just keep throwing things in, you're like, this guy's a stud. And he can just, he can block anybody, and you're giving him reads, and maybe that guy's like, oh, I'm going to go, do this and that. So I think he's going to have a better second year. But they did now move to the Big 12.
Yeah, I think another thing to consider, too, is that he's fielding a vastly different team than he was week 1 last year, or week 0 last year for Colorado, right? He was able to dip into that recruiting portal. He was able to, or the transfer portal, excuse me. He was able to do a little bit of recruiting. He was able to snatch some guys up, build himself an offensive line, build himself a defensive line, and ultimately get rid of the weight that was holding the team down last year. He's shaping a team of Deion Sanders coached football players.
Correct.
You know, the guys who didn't want to be there are now gone. But with that being said, as far as some of the criticism goes for Colorado and the expectations for them this season, I can understand why people like, Feinbaum are saying that Deion's a superstar, Colorado is nothing, because as far as I'm concerned, I was on the hype train for Colorado early in the year last year. The entire country was, it seemed like. But down the stretch, I didn't see a team that was receptive to the coaching they were getting. I didn't see a team that was finding ways to win. I didn't see a team that was looking like a cohesive unit. And as far as Colorado this year, I'm looking at that first game against North Dakota State, man, and they got to show me something. Like, I can't just write off North Dakota State because Colorado has got Deion Sanders as their head coach. I think, they got a great quarterback, one of the best in the country. Obviously, they got a lot of great players here and there, and they built this roster up. But I would love to see some results. I'd love to see them early, and I'd love to see it against these schools that they should be able to beat here early in the season. They got a tough schedule, but I'll believe it when I see it is basically my stance on it.
Well, listen, if I play this Feinbaum, which he's been in this whole thing, will we get in trouble?
No, you should be okay.
That one. Let me chat back up while we watch this little commercial, because I'm kind of interested on hearing this. I haven't heard this yet.
Yeah, I think the full quote and context is going to be a lot more telling. That's a good bit for clicks. I got to be honest with you. Colorado is nothing. You sound so bitter.
I know. Come on, man. ESPN's really pissing me off today.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do anything. I feel like Bubba up here.
There we go.
There we go. Boop, boop. You good?
You just got to turn the volume up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Really are like Bubba.
Jeez.
Paul, burning question. What's Deion Sanders going to do in his second season at Colorado?
I think they're looking at about a 500 record, which isn't all that impressive when you consider the amount of energy and hype and overhype, I should say, to this program. It's Deion Sanders is a superstar, Greeny. We all know that, but Colorado is nothing. They're just another school in the middle of nowhere in a third-rate league. And the problem I have with Deion.
What's Deion Sanders?
Hold on. Wow, that's
he's very
he really dog
defensive.
shitted Colorado. So fuck, hey, Grouper Lips, why don't you fucking go after fucking Feinbaum? Called Boulder pretty much a dog shit school.
Very difficult second year in Boulder.
What do you think, Heather? What do you think the expectations are for this team this season?
What's she say?
Well, I agree with Paul that Deion Sanders is going to make more headlines for what he continues to say this year than how many games he's going to win. I would disagree that they are a nothing burger of a team because they have Travis Hunter, who might be the best player in the country in terms of all that he can do on the field. Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback. They have to protect him. But the bottom line is this. They are not going to compete for the Big 12 title.
How many books do you think she read behind her? And who the fuck is number 3 here? Do you know who he is?
And we're not even going to whisper about them in terms of the college football playoff until they start improving on both sides. Sneaky Hembo stat for you. This is really good. Colorado was outrushed last year by 1,290 yards, the worst margin in a Power 5 by 300 yards.
Yeah, so they absolutely have to be better. I think.
First off, the Pac-12.
Introducing my Fit CEO.
Okay,
Your
thank you.
fitness journey.
The Pac-12 was running the shit. You know, they had a lot of good running teams and running quarterbacks. And I find this funny. I saw this too. Rhett, do you see how the Pac-12 looks now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Pac-2.
Yeah, I like how they didn't even try to change the name. I was looking for obviously the Big 12, and I was like, oh, look at that, the Pac-12, a whopping 2. But, I mean, you're comparing them to last year in a totally different conference with totally different teams. He's got other players. They knew that they had a bad offensive line, a bad defensive line. I mean, they fixed the team. they still have returning players. Deion's from his second year. It's not like, Colorado went out and just killed it and they lost a bunch of players. They did lose some players, but they kept the nucleus around. I feel like these guys, like you said, are just trying to get clicks. I think Feinbaum's trying to get clicks. He's disagreeing with Feinbaum, so it's like, yeah, they're going to suck. We might as well not take the high road on this one. If you look at their schedule here, North Dakota State, that should be a win. Obviously, if they lose, to a Division I AA school, you might as well just cancel Christmas.
Yeah, they just have to prove they can find ways to win. Competing for the Big 12 title, competing for the college football playoff, that's one thing. But proving you can find ways to win and you can rally behind a mistake and not let it consume you and lose you the game is another thing. I think just showing a little bit of improvement, marginal improvement, the blueprint that Babyface would always talk about when determining the success factor of a new head coach in college football. If you see marginal improvement from year 1 to year 2, that's a big thing. But I think ultimately the biggest thing is keeping these players in check, showing that they can rally off of their mistakes, they can find ways to win, they can stay emotionally mature on and off of the football field. I think that's going to go a really long way for Deion Sanders as a coach, especially.
You go to North Dakota. Nebraska's an improved team, and it's always going to be hard to probably play Nebraska. They always get that 100,000 attendance there. There's pretty much nothing to do in Nebraska. Colorado State, that's a rival game, especially from last year. I think Colorado wins that one. And then you got Baylor, UCF, Kansas State, Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State. I feel like they just made the Big 12 the Pac-12 with how many teams they've listed.
Right.
Kansas State, Arizona, Utah, Kansas. Kansas 22, Utah 12, Oklahoma State. I hate preseason rankings, but it's a tougher schedule if you look at the rankings. That's all you look at. But if you look at the body of work, I still see Deion being over 500, making another bowl game and just building. Now, I think it all depends on how Shedeur plays too, and if their defensive line improved. So I wouldn't be calling them a under 500 or a 500 team right now. I could see them pulling out 8 wins. What about you?
I think 8 would be the ceiling. Honestly,
the ceiling, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to see about that one. We'll put this timestamp down, and you're putting them at the ceiling now. Do you think Shedeur wins the Heisman?
Shit. Yeah.
So you think everything? Do you think if Colorado goes 7-5, you think Shedeur wins the Heisman if he just puts up ridiculous numbers?
I think it'd be tough, but I think he could. Yeah.
And this is the first year of the playoffs too, so
yeah.
I'm kind of I'm not sure if they squeak into that playoff. I don't see them, even though they do play enough ranked teams. I don't see them being able to make it in.
Yeah.
I think Feinbaum calling Deion, was he calling him a superstar coach or just a superstar player?
Both. Deion is a superstar.
Yeah.
But Colorado, the program, the football team, is nothing.
I don't know. I'm excited to see Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC. I know you're a big Florida fan.
Mm-hmm.
You think Florida pulls up the nose? You think the coach is still here next year?
No.
What's his name?
No,
Billy
I'm
something?
going into this season with as little faith as I've had in old Billy.
Really?
Since he got here. Yeah, I just, the play calling at times has been so awful. Things were not competent down the stretch last year. And then again, our buddy referee Fred, I'll never forget what he told us about Florida's sideline.
That is true.
That's that's an indicator of, I think, the respect a team has for their head coach, and I guess has for themselves. Because if you're just making an ass out of yourself on the sideline to where it's obvious, I don't get a great feeling about that.
You know who Will Muschamp? He reminds me of that. Because didn't he lose kind of like the locker room and the sideline before they let him go? Because I believe that's when they lost to Georgia Southern, right?
Yeah.
And so you think that's where Billy's going to go? You think he gets fired?
I don't know. I think if they start... Let me see their schedule, if you can pull that up for me.
Let me try to find Florida here.
Yeah, you'll find them. You had them a minute ago.
Oh, did I? I know Florida State because they're ranked. Go Florida State, number 10. Let's see. Do they play first week?
Yeah, they do. Go down. Go down. They play Miami. There they are at the bottom on ABC.
Got it.
All right, Miami, Sanford, Texas A&M, Mississippi State.
They love ranking Miami ranked the first week. Every
if they
time.
start 1-3, because I don't know how they're going to do against Mississippi State.
How about Sanford?
If they start 1-3,
the Bulldogs,
with only one win against Sanford, I think he's out of there. When you're 1-3,
in season,
yeah.
Holy shit! You guys got to now talk about a fucking.
That's just me.
I mean,
but
I'm talking about the schedule.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Talk about Colorado having some ranked teams. Preseason rankings. Once again, I can't stand. Miami 19, Texas A&M 20. Mississippi State's not. Tennessee 15, Georgia 1, Texas 4, Ole Miss 6, LSU 13, and Florida State 10. Woo! How about that? Let's just say right now, the last 5 games of the year. Holy shit. Actually, the last 6 games of the year. Tennessee, I mean, you got Kentucky. I guess they're a little down this year. Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Florida State. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, right after that UCF game, perfect time to get out of town if you're old Billy.
Yeah, go into Tennessee. I mean, you got the Florida-Georgia game. At Texas. Playing at Texas is going to be tough. At least you got them at home against Ole Miss, and then at Florida State. They got a leg up on Florida State. I've totally forgot they were renovating the stadium there.
Oh, sure.
And they're only going to have 55,000 people there. That's the stadium capacity because they're renovating the home side of the stadium. But that will be a positive. But I still think if Florida State's playing pretty well, that I don't think Florida's going to have too much. So I can see them maybe going 5-7, which would probably get them fired. You think Deion wants to go over to Florida?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
That would be the biggest awesomeness ever, huh? Getting Deion at least to Florida.
The biggest middle finger.
To Colorado?
To Florida State, his alma mater.
Oh, of course. But, I mean, Florida State passed him over. And I don't see Florida State's coach getting fired anytime soon. They just got that. They got that one recruit. What's his name? From Clemson. Fuck. He's like a big Samoan, too. I can't see it, but whatever. But he was supposed to be a stud at Clemson, so maybe he can pull the nose up at Florida State. But, we'll see. So we'll probably have a job opening over at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the USF guy doesn't jump ship and go to Florida. More money. His offense is pretty good.
I'm excited to dive into college football season with USF as well. Hopefully we can figure out some more stuff to cover here soon.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for college. I mean, college is tough because you start naming players and people are like, who the fuck is that? And you're like, oh, it's a new freshman coming in. See, I hate putting different things on an incoming freshman. Even though they're 5 stars, they're coming in, and I kind of want to see how they're going to do in the first couple of weeks. Yeah, so Cooper Lips is a dick. But yeah, we're doing a fantasy football league, Marty, but it's all full. So I'm sorry. Are you gonna? You're playing, right?
Me? No.
Yeah, you're not playing fantasy?
No, I don't think so. If I'm in the league that, like, if I got put in there automatically, then I guess I'm playing. But I was probably going to take a year off of fantasy this year.
Of everything?
I think so. I think I'd like to enjoy a football season without sweating my fantasy teams.
Oh, we got replacements for you.
All right, cool. We got subs.
We have people we had scouts in the sideline waiting to come in. So wait, are you not going to play your betting stuff too?
Oh, like my prize picks and shit? Yeah, for sure. I'll do that. But I don't know if I'm going to play just like weekly fantasy.
Oh shit, man, that's crazy, Rhett. I totally had you part in thinking that you're a big time fantasy guy. I mean, there's the big thing about football. I mean, there's draft parties. We were talking about even trying to maybe do it live, and you're not going to be there.
Uncle Eric, $20 on the Cash App. I don't know. Let me think about it.
I know you're moving and everything, so.
Well, that's a big thing too. I don't really want to dive into anything or make too heavy of plans until that's done. 2 weeks from basically 2 weeks from today, we'll be moving in the 26th.
You picked the perfect time.
Yeah, because we got all those days off.
Exactly, which we will have the best ofs. Do you want to do any shows during that time?
What, on the days that we got off? That Thursday, Friday?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll have to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm going to bring it up with Bubba tomorrow. I think we all know what Bubba's take's going to be on Deion.
Hey, he's a fucking superstar, kid. Expanded college football playoff. He's getting in there, no problem.
Well, I'm curious to see if Bubba still has his same take as he did last year. I'm pretty sure he said that he guaranteed Deion would be in the playoffs his second year.
Yeah, because of the expanded playoff.
And
I'm sure he did say something like that.
And I'm kind of excited to see if Bubba does actually go to 2 games this year.
UCF for sure, I think will be one.
I sure hope so. Bubba doesn't, skate out of that one if nothing comes up. Or if, because I know he said he wanted to travel to Colorado, but I think it'd be really exciting for him to go to the UCF game and the footage we can get, because I'm pretty sure you'll probably be going then, right?
I hope so.
To video record it?
Someone's got to do it.
Video record it. God, I sound like I'm fucking 50 years old. I didn't get much sleep last night. My elbow was fucking numb, so I'm a little off my game right now because I have to hold this mouse with my right hand.
I've been there. I'm very tired. I know it sounds so shitty. Well, it sounds awful yawning on the air.
I know. You're not supposed to be doing that, kid.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the cough button. Unprofessional, Rhett. Question back on the NFL. Do you think CeeDee Lamb starts the opener with the Cowboys?
Because of this holdout situation?
Yeah. Do you think he just settles it week 3 of the preseason, whatever it's called?
Yeah, I think we might have a, Chris Jones and the Kansas City Chiefs last year. You remember week 1 or week 2, he's sitting in the stadium and they're showing, Taylor Swift on the broadcast, and then they cut over and Chris Jones is in the suite right next to her.
Exactly.
So I think we could get that kind of situation where this thing lingers on into the midway point of the season.
What about Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, where do you think
I think this will be a big nothing burger. I think he'll end up back with the 49ers.
Not going. You don't think he's going to go to the Steelers? That's his team he wants to play for.
I guess. It's going to be the Niners or the Steelers at this point, but I really do think this is going to end up being a big anticlimactic. He ends up re-signing with the 49ers and gets a good deal.
What's your predictions right now on the Jets and Aaron Rodgers? I'm kind of curious because it seems like the media is still, they're trying to make it, the team is kind of, listening to Rodgers on certain things, but then you got other players that seem like they're a little negative. But after that, once he got back, it's kind of been cooled off on the Jets.
I'm curious to see if he even makes it through the entire season. Like
really?
That's my biggest concern for the Jets right now. Is Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Fuck. He gets sacked 20 times at the halfway point of the season. How hurt is he?
I think he's going to make it the whole season, and I think he'll make it to the AFC Championship game. Just from what I've seen in the preseason. So probably by week 1, I'll probably say that they're going to be knocked out of the pretty much the playoff run. Which Ashley bought me a fucking Tua jersey yesterday for some reason.
Did she really?
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, I can see the Dolphins. Look at the AFC East. The Dolphins are going to be one of the teams. I mean, obviously you got the Bills that are going to be there. The Dolphins, unless Tua gets hurt, then they'll probably make the Super Bowl.
Obviously the Bills. How good do you think the Bills are going to be this year? I don't think they're a shoo-in to compete for that division. Yeah, they're going to be second place. No, I don't even want to say that. Shit, how good are the Bills going to be this year?
You don't think they're going to be that good?
I don't think they're going to be better than the Dolphins, and I don't think they'll be better than the Jets if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and plays like Aaron Rodgers. Because go ahead and click on the Bills there, and let's take a look at their roster, specifically that wide receiver room after losing both Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. They got Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, USF
alumni.
Yeah, alumni who ended up there.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton Kincaid, pretty good tight end. Dawson Knox, another pretty good tight end. As far as pass catchers go, you got Curtis Samuel, who some would argue is a wide receiver too. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, some would argue is a wide receiver too.
Yeah, a little speed.
Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. Andy Isabella is a talented guy. He was in Arizona for a little while, made some plays. UMass prospect, but I don't know. I don't know how good they're going to be. James Cook and Ray Davis at running back. They did get Ray Davis out of Kentucky, who I'm excited to see. Rookie running back. He was pretty high up on my list as far as running backs go.
I mean, I see this right here.
Josh Allen.
That's all depends on their whole season right there. How Josh Allen plays. And I feel like he's going to, he's a talent. So I see the Bills being second in the division. Yeah.
Better than the Jets.
As of right now, yeah. I mean, you kind of did put the little injury bug in my ear with Aaron Rodgers. I know Josh Allen's been injured, but
I think the inconsistency with Josh Allen is one of those things because he has the ability to look like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and then he can just absolutely lose you the game.
That is true.
So when he has a less than stellar supporting cast, specifically those pass catchers I keep talking about, I'm curious to see if he can bounce back and at times play like the best quarterback in the NFL, because if one of those wide receivers gets injured, I don't love that room.
You are correct on that. He doesn't have the weapons around him, but he could also make those wide receivers too.
Yeah, he could.
And he's got him young.
Yeah. He's just got to be consistent. Take care of the football.
239. My arm is dead.
Lummy, it's your favorite Dolphin fan. You said to his name like 2 times. I'm gonna give you a chance to get it a 3rd time. Listen, your wife is a smart, beautiful lady to get you a jersey to a team that's probably gonna get you to the finals. Maybe not the Super Bowl, but the finals.
I would never wear that fucking thing. I told her that too. So why'd you buy this for me? I'm never wearing this fucking thing.
You should have bought an orange one. You know what I mean? Like a creamsicle kind of style, and you could have kind of pulled it off.
To what? A game?
What do you mean? Yeah, pull it off whenever you're going to wear the hat. Like, my house is divided. I'm going to tell you right now. My Nana Banana, she's a Tampa fan all the way. She's my wife's grandma,
smart.
but we call her Nana Banana.
She's smart.
Yeah, she's a season holder. I mean, this lady's 83 and she's still going to the Bucs games. Broke her hips twice in the stadium and still riding.
God bless her.
Trust me, I love her to death. And I told her, I said, in my house, I'll be nice. Your side of the house, you can do Bucks whatever you want. My side of the house is Dolphins. You touch my Dolphin stuff, I don't know what's going to happen. It might be a solved mystery. But,
listen,
other than that, we have fun.
Yeah, well, listen, if Tua is healthy the whole year, they'll limp into the playoffs. If Tua gets hurt, then like I said, they'll probably go super far.
We got Dan Marino in the background ready to put that jersey on and get a Super Bowl ring.
Listen, Dan Marino could come back out of retirement right now and lead the fucking Dolphins to that Super Bowl he needed to get. I
got a question.
What?
For you.
Yeah.
Tua or Kaepernick? If Kaepernick can come back, who would you pick, Tua or Kaepernick?
I'll let Rhett pick that. I'm not picking it.
Lummy, come on. This should not be a hard decision for you.
Because of the locker room situation, I would have to go Tua. All because of the locker room situation.
All because Tua supports the blue. He backs the blue. He supports police officers.
Sure. Not because his talent's better.
With you guys, I would pick him too, because you know why? I'm a proud American. I'm full-blooded Puerto Rican, but I was born and raised here.
That's right.
If you do something disrespectful for law and you do anything disrespectful for the military, I don't care how good you are. You can be the million-man mark. You don't ever do that.
You're damn right.
That's right. Listen, I just looked at who their backup quarterback is, and it's a USF alumni, Mike White. And Mike White, he would go back there and just lead them to a Super Bowl. He would get something that Dan Marino couldn't do. And that's Mike White.
I'm telling you, poor Dan. I still got my jersey. I got a story about Dan. Great man right there.
Holy shit.
I was over here in Naples. I was his caddy one time. I was 18. I was his caddy for golf over here at the Naples golf course. And I was so starstruck. He gave me $500 for that day. I said, I can't take your money. I have a jersey in my car. Can you please sign it? I got a picture and everything, and I got it framed and everything. I'm like, hey, I didn't even take the money. I was just so starstruck because it was Dan Marino.
Oh,
to me, that's a legend, and no matter if he won a Super Bowl or not.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fucking awesome. Sorry, I was blown away by your guys' wide receiver room.
Oh, yeah,
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Odell Beckham. You got Willie Snead the fourth.
Don't sleep on Braxton Berrios. Was a really big fan of his when he played for the Jets. That one year when Antonio Brown ran off on the Bucs at that Jets game, Braxton Berrios was fucking unstoppable. The Bucs couldn't tackle him.
That is true. But Snead, remember when Snead was a stud? A stud? I mean, Snead was a stud with the Saints. And Jeff Wilson Jr. Yeah,
good roster back and forth. I'm just hoping the Florida team wins. That's all. Bucks win, right on. Dolphins win, right on. I'm to the point that I want a Florida team to win.
Don't let Brian hear you.
Listen,
don't let Brian hear you.
Don't forget Jacksonville. They're weak, but I mean, I always want the Dolphins to win, especially for Ashley. But I mean, they just need a better quarterback, and everyone can suck my D on that one if they think Tua is a good Brian. So fucking over.
Brian doesn't just get under his skin, man. That's what he does.
And I don't want to talk about Tua. I don't want to talk about how horrible he is and how there's so many better quarterbacks in the leagues than this guy, and how he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, and everyone thinks he's good. Everyone thinks he's good. That's what upsets me. If you just watch him play quarterback, he is not a good quarterback.
I'm a Dolphin fan. I think he's decent. I think Dolphins could do better, but they put the tools around him to make him look good.
Well, you're going to be stuck with him for a long time because he got a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So, good luck.
Let me let you guys go so I can go ahead and go deliver. I'll talk to you guys good.
See you, man.
You guys have a great day.
See you, Berto. Well, that's it for the sports show. We're done. Fucking Tua talk. I can't wait. I can't wait.
No music or anything.
Oh, no, we're going to play some fucking music.
Okay.
I just can't wait. I really can't wait for people. He's got so many weapons.
Oh, God. There's no winning with you, is there? They can play like shit. And you'll obviously be very happy.
Oh, you mean?
But I don't think he plays bad enough for you to be happy about your prediction. Because I think the weapons that you talk about are going to keep him relevant all year, and it's just going to drive you insane.
Yes, you are correct on that one. Yes, that is going to be the problem. Is that everyone around him will make him a good, look like a good quarterback because everyone looks at stats.
Right, of course, yeah. Right.
I just want to prove Brian wrong. That's it. My life goal is to prove Brian wrong. Every time. Just prove Brian wrong all the time. He's so smarmy and thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He's in my head. Brian bought real estate in my head. And so did Tua. Right, you got anything?
I do not. Today's live show, Neil, should be on YouTube. If it's not, it probably got banned for some copyright thing, and we'll have to edit it. But actually, before we go, let me just check for you.
Well, you know what? In the meantime, get the triple package at the Bubba Army shop, Bubba Army store, BubbaArmyMerch.com. $89. Get it before it is gone.
Yeah, the 17 seconds of Olympics footage that we just so happen to show today got the show blocked worldwide. So, Neil, give it about an hour to process the editing on YouTube's back end, and then it should be good to go. But you can always watch the show interruption-free over on rumble.com at the Bubba Army.
Or you can always listen into it uninterrupted and live at Bubba Army HQ, along with all the great old school stuff. Everyone have a great rest of your day. We will see you here tomorrow. See ya.